Okay, so let me start the class that others can join by the time actually. So yesterday we started regarding discussion with steady state error analysis, and steady state error analysis is normally represented as ESS of T as mentioned here, ESS of T, and the always the steady state error is classified into two. One is static error and the other one is dynamic error. The static error is probably they focus on the type of input, what input is being provided, decides the static error constants, and we can find the steady state error. Dynamic error has an advantage. It is not depending upon the input. Any random input can be taken into account, and it provides you a clear idea about how the error changes with respect to time. That's the advantage of going for a dynamic error. And we have seen different steady state classifications of steady state error and derived its formula for static error constants like Kp, Kv, and Ka, and the related relevant steady state error formulas are also being provided. And the steady state error when the input is unit step, okay, we call it as a positional error constant. And for type 0, type 1 system, how it responds. That we have carried out yesterday's class. Discussed about the same in the yesterday's class. For Kv, parabolic signal, and for a unit parabolic signal, you get a Ka there, and for a Ka, what is the relevant steady state errors for type 0, type 1, type 2, and type 3, and we have consolidated everything, static error constants and steady state errors, okay, for different type of system. Type 0 system, what happens to if you supply a step input, then what happens? If it is a type 1 system, if you provide same step input, how your error constant varies. So these things we discussed yesterday, and the video is also available in the YouTube channel. You can go through that. And today we go for generalized error coefficients. As I said, the static error constants and finding out the steady state error, steady state error out of the static error coefficients has some drawbacks. What is the main drawback is it does not show the variation of error with respect to time. That is, as time prolongs, how error is varying, that is not mentioned or cannot be captured using static error constants values. So the input should be a standard input. You cannot vary that. I cannot have a different input. Like for example, if I have an input like this, again I cannot describe it is a step or a ramp or a parabolic or something like that. It's a different type of input. Some partially it is looking like a trapezoid, then we have a projection. Okay, so if an input is looking like this, okay, this cannot be used to analyze the steady state error for a system using static error constants. So the disadvantage of these static error constants have paved the way for the generation of, or for the consideration of the other part, what called as generalized error, or we call it as dynamic error. So from the name you can say what is dynamic, in the sense how the error will change with respect to time can be captured using this dynamic error constant. So any type of input if you put, if you consider, you can find the steady state error using these generalized error coefficients. Okay. The generally the error signal is considered as E of s is equal to R of s divided by 1 plus G of s H of s if you consider the deviation between the transfer function between E of s and R of s, where R of s is the reference input and E of s is the deviation from the reference input. So this E of s can be expressed as the combination of or the product of 1 by 1 plus G of s H of s and R of s. Okay, this is a product, and this 1 by 1 plus g of s h of s can be considered as f of s. So f of s is equal to 1 by 1 plus g of s h of s. If you have a relation like that, and if you take your Laplace inverse, if you take your Laplace inverse for E of s, then you get your E of t, which can be written as R of t into C naught plus R dot of t into C1 by 1 factorial plus, just a minute. So C1 by 1 factorial plus R double dot of t, C2 by 2 factorial plus R triple dot, it goes on. It goes on. We can restrict ourselves. How far we can find? We can restrict ourselves to the requirement of our the accuracy level error. Okay. If you want to close it up to C3 by 3 factorial, well and good. Or if you want to go further, you can go for C4 and C5 finding out. Where the C0, C1, C2, C3, etc. up to Cn is called as the generalized error coefficients, and R of t is your input. R of t is your input. The relationship between C0 and the other data which are available with us, we will see that in the next. C0 is limit s tends to 0 f of s, where f of s is already we know that 1 by 1 plus g of s h of s. Then C1 is equal to limit s tends to 0, differentiating this function with respect to s once, d by ds of f of s. Then C2 is d squared, then C power n is always d power n power ds power n into f of s. So these C0, C1, C2, C3, they are the dynamic error coefficients. Dynamic error coefficients. Any doubts so far? So you first find your error using this relation, then substitute that in your time domain formula of your steady state error. We already know steady state error can be examined or found using two different formulas, one in time domain and the other one is in frequency domain, your final value theorem. So limit t tends to infinity E of t, this is one formula in time domain. You have another formula s tends to 0, s into E of s. This is another formula which is your based on your final value theorem, finding out the steady state error. Since this is being carried out in your time domain, I can take this time domain formula E of t is equal to limit t tends to infinity E of t. So I can get my steady state error after finding your error. Any doubts so far? Any doubts so far? Everybody in the class, please respond. Any doubt is there up to whatever we have discussed? Any point or step I want to repeat it again? Please tell me. No doubt. Okay, fine. What is the relation between static error and dynamic error coefficients? The relation between or correlation between static and dynamic error coefficient. We already know that ESS is equal to 1 by 1 plus Kp for unit step input. If your input is unit step, then steady state error can be obtained using the position error constant Kp. And same way, if it is ramp, you can write it like 1 by Kv. If it is parabolic, you can write it like 1 by Ka. Already we know that C naught is equal to limit s tends to 0 f of s. Yes, this is already known to you, and this f of s is already also known. So if you substitute s is equal to 0, this function has nothing to do with s, and this is going to be limit s tends to 0, which is already Kp. So C naught can be equated with 1 by 1 Kp, 1 by 1 plus Kp. The same way, if you extend it to C1, then it can be extended to 1 by Kv and 1 by Ka. So three coefficients we can denote it, and this dynamic error coefficients can be related to static error coefficients or static error constants using this relation. This Kp Kv and Ka are static error constants. This Kp, Kv and Ka. This C0, C1 and C2 are dynamic error coefficients. Dynamic error coefficients. Is it okay? Is it okay? So you can relate this dynamic error coefficients with your static error constants using these relations C0, C1 and C2. Any doubts? Hello? Hello people in the class, please respond. Any doubts so far? So using that relation, I can use another method to find the same generalized error coefficients. We already know that E of s is equal to R of s divided by 1 plus G of s H of s. So this is your F of s. Okay, 1 by 1 plus G of s H of s. This can be expressed as C0 plus C1s plus C2 by s squared by 2 factorial, C3 by s cube the whole factorial. Then cross multiply that. Okay, once you got this, now you can take inverse Laplace transformation. You will again get your E of t. This is another method. Okay, you will get your E of t. Then you can substitute that ESS is equal to limit t tends to infinity E of t. Then you can find your steady state error. Okay, so this is another method. You can use this relationship directly to find your E of s relation with the coefficients, and finally you can take inverse Laplace, get the values of uh, this C0, C1, C2. You already know the formula to find it. Then you can directly take inverse Laplace to get E of t. Finally, you can get your ESS if you want using this formula. This is another method. So generally, the formula to get your steady state error is this one. Whatever the method you are going to follow, that sticks to you, is up to you, is based on the requirement. But this is the formula. Finally, you are supposed to do this. You can get this relation E of t by any means. By the different methods are there, you can get your E of t by any method. But finally, you are supposed to substitute that in this formula. ESS is equal to limit t tends infinity E of t, and finally you have to find the value of your steady state error. Any doubts so far? Hello. So the analysis yesterday we discussed about static error constants. Using the static error constant, how you can find your steady state error. And today we have started, because of some disadvantages you have using your static error constants and steady state error, we are now concentrating on overcoming the disadvantages of those developed by the static error constants by introducing you the dynamic error coefficients or generalized error coefficients, and we have found a relation between the static error coefficients and dynamic error coefficients also. Okay, any doubts in the discussion? Any doubts in the discussion? Hello. So let me take a problem. Example problem number 1. So for a unity feedback control system, the open loop transfer function is provided like this: G of s is equal to 10 into s plus 2 by s squared into s plus 1. Find the position, velocity, and acceleration error constants. So they are asking to find Kp, Kv, and Ka. First one. What is given? They have given you your open loop transfer function G of s 10 into s plus 2 divided by s squared into s plus 1. And it is provided as unity feedback control. So H of s is also provided. H of s is equal to 1. Can anybody say what is the type of this particular transfer function g of s? This g of s, what is the type? Hello, just unmute and say what is the type of this particular transfer function, because I have explained what is a type, what is an order, 2-3 classes before, while you are dealing with first order, second order system, time response analysis itself. I have given you from a transfer function how to find an order and how to find a type. Yes, people are remembering that. Please tell me what is the type of the system. Okay, I will tell you the definition for a type. Okay, the type is the number of poles at the origin. Number of poles at the origin. How many poles are there at the origin? The poles can be found from the denominator polynomial. So denominator polynomial is s squared into s plus 1, which is equal to 0, which provides me s is equal to 0, 0, minus 1. How many poles are at the origin? Yes. How many roots or poles are there in the origin? 0, we have two zeros. S is equal to 0 is one pole and s is equal to 0 is another pole. So you have two roots or poles in the origin. So the type of the system is 2. And since the maximum power of your denominator polynomial is 3, you can write it like s cube plus s is equal to 0. So the maximum power of the polynomial is 3. So the order is 3. So please, if you have a doubt, please ask me now. What is the type? What is an order? Do you have any doubts now? Even I have explained it clearly in your time response analysis itself. Probably your transient part, transient response analysis, type and order. And still again I am explaining the same. Now, even now, if you have a doubt, please ask me again. I will try to explain you. Without knowing that, don't put yes, no doubt and all. Please ask me a doubt if you have regarding how to find a type of a system and what is an order of system, because this type is related much with this steady state error calculations, these static error coefficients. This type is so much related. We have already seen that you have two tabular columns provided there. Based on the type of the system, we can find what will be the value for Kp, Kv and Ka. And also the steady state error can be obtained using the formula based on the type. So please tell me whether you have a problem in finding out the type of a system. Hello, யாருக்காவது டவுட் இருந்ததுன்னா கேளுங்க. டைப் ஆஃப் சிஸ்டம் கண்டுபிடிக்கிறதுல யாருக்காவது பிரச்சனை இருக்கு, டவுட் இருக்கு, எனக்கு புரியல அப்படின்னு இருந்தா கேளுங்க. டவுட் இருக்கா இல்லையா முதல்ல சொல்லுங்க. People are there or not? No response is coming out. Suji is there, Pragadishwari is there, Shivakumar is there, Jayavel is there. உங்களுக்கு 4 பேருக்கும் புரிஞ்சிருச்சான்னு நான் கேட்குறேன். அன்மியூட் பண்ணிட்டு புரிஞ்சிருச்சுன்னா புரிஞ்சிருச்சுன்னு சொல்லலாம், புரியலன்னா புரியலன்னு சொல்லலாம். ஹலோ, okay, then let me proceed with the problem. No response is coming out. So I will start with the proceedings of what is asked. Actually, they are asking for position, velocity and acceleration are constant. Then they are given a specific input. They are asking for what is the steady state error. Okay, so let me try that. What is Kp Kv formula? Kp is equal to limit s tends to 0, g of s, h of s, which will provide me limit s tends to 0. What is that? 10 s plus 2 divided by s squared into s plus 1. So if we substitute s is equal to 0, anything by 0 will become infinite. Then Kv is equal to limit s tends to 0, s into g of s, h of s. And again, if you have an s into, it will cancel this s squared, you will have s again. So denominator you have one more s there. If you substitute s is equal to 0, you will get infinite again. S into 10 into s plus 2 divided by s squared into s plus 1. So this 2 and s gets cancelled, so you will again get an infinite. What is Ka? Limit s tends to 0, s squared into g of s h of s. So limit s tends to 0, s squared into 10 s plus 2 divided by s squared into s plus 1. This s squared and s squared gets cancelled. So if you substitute, you will, s is equal to 0, you will get 10 into 2 divided by 1 is equal to 20. So Kp is equal to infinite, Kv is equal to infinite, and Ka is equal to 20. Is it okay? Is it okay or not? Any understood the problem? First A part. Hello? Everybody in the class? Hello? Suji, Pragadishwari, Jayavel, Shivakumar. Whether you have a doubt in this particular part of the problem? No response is coming out. Okay, fine. Let me go to the, so this is there, Kp, Kv and Ka. Now what is my B part? My B part is the steady state error has to be found. ESS is equal to what? If my R of s is equal to 3 by s minus 2 by s square plus 1 by 3 s cube. We have number of methods to solve this. Let us go one by one. So I am using a generalized error series method to solve this particular problem because this is not a specific standard signal. It's a combination of different signals. Okay, 3 by s is a step signal with a magnitude value of 3. 2 by s squared is a ramp signal with a magnitude value of 2. Variation is 2. And 1 by s cube, 1 by 3 s cube. So you have a parabolic signal also. So it is a combination of different standard signals. Okay, it is a combination of different signals. What is the combination of? So it is having a different signal. I cannot use a single static error coefficient or a static error constant to find my steady state error. So what I normally do, I take a generalized error series method to solve that. So the formula for that is E of t is equal to R of t into C of t, C naught plus R dot C1 plus R double dot C2 by 2 factorial, it goes on. And given R of s is equal to 3 by s minus 2 by s square plus 1 by 3 s cube. So I want R of t, I want C naught, R dot of t, C1, R double dot, C2 by 2 factorial, etc. So first I want R of t. So what I do, I take Laplace inverse for R of s. So if I take Laplace inverse for R of s, this 3 by s can be written as 3 because 1 by s Laplace inverse of 1 by s is 1. Laplace inverse of 1 by s squared is t. Laplace inverse of what? 1 by s cube is equal to t squared by 2. So I substitute all these inverses here. So these numbers will come out. So what I will get? First 3 by s. So 3 comes out. 1 by s is 1. Minus 2 is there. So minus 2 is be as it is. This 1 by s squared, you will get t from 1 by s squared if you take Laplace inverse. Then 1 by 3 is a number which is again be same. 1 by 3 will be there as it is. And this 1 by s cube can be written as t squared by 2 factorial. T power n, Laplace inverse of t power 1 by s power n can be written as t power n divided by n factorial. Sorry, t power n minus 1 divided by n minus 1 factorial. Okay. So that's the idea. That's the idea. So I get this relation. So R of t is this one. So finally 3 minus 2t plus t squared by 6 If you differentiate that with respect to r dot, if you want r dot, what do you normally do? R of t is equal to 3 minus 2t plus t squared by 6. What is r dot of t? R dot of t is equal to, this constant becomes 0. If I differentiate with respect to t once, you will get 2. If you differentiate that, you will get 2t divided by 6. So you will get minus 2 plus t by 3. Minus 2 plus t by 3. Again, if you differentiate this r dot of t, you will get r double dot. So what will you get? R double dot. This will be 0. It's a constant value. Then you have, if you differentiate with respect to t, you will get 1. So 1 by 3. So finally you will get 1 by 3. If you further go, you are only having a constant value. So the entire thing becomes 0. So we can stop up to r double dot. That's how my formula has to be stopped. R of t, C naught plus R dot of t, C1 plus R double dot of t, C2 by 2 factorial. I cannot go further because I cannot use R triple dot and all, because R triple dot is going to be 0. So after this higher terms, after R triple dot is also going to be 0. So I stop my formula of the error as E of t is equal to R of t, C naught plus R dot of t, C1 plus R double dot of t, C2 by 2 factorial. That's it. So what is remaining? I want C naught, C1 and C2. So you have the relation C naught is equal to what? Limit s tends to 0 f of s. C1 is equal to limit s tends to 0 d by ds of f of s. C2 is equal to d squared s squared, okay, f of s, limit s tends to 0. So you know what is f of s? F of s is 1 by g of s into h of s. So g of s, h of s, we have already know that if you substitute that, your transformation, your transfer function becomes like s cube plus s squared divided by s cube plus s squared plus 10s plus 20. So this is my f of s. This is my f of s. Okay, so if I apply that formula for C naught is equal to limit s tends to 0 f of s. So if I apply that, all s terms become 0. Only I will be reminded with, okay, since the numerator is going to be 0, the entire function becomes 0. So C naught will be equal to 0 because s cube plus s squared there in the numerator. The coefficients are 0. So obviously you will get 0 by 20. 0 by 20 is going to be 0. Same way, to find C1, what you have to do? You have to differentiate this f of s with respect to d by s ds. Okay, once you have to differentiate. You differentiate that, you see that u by v formula, we will have v squared v du minus u dv. So s cube plus s squared plus 10s plus 20 the whole squared. You have a, this is v squared, this is v. If you differentiate, okay, your u is s cube plus s squared. If you have du, then it is going to be 3s squared plus 2s. Okay. If v is equal to s cube plus s squared plus 10s plus 20, then dv is equal to 3s squared plus 2s plus 10. You can see that this is the formula v du minus u dv divided by v squared. So v squared v du minus, this is u dv. So if you solve this finally, and if you apply s is equal to 0, since all your numerator terms are having s coefficients, s squared is having a coefficient, s cube is there, no constant terms are there, so the numerator becomes 0. So obviously C1 value will be equal to 0. So now you have d by ds of f of s is found like 20 s cube plus 70 s squared plus 40s divided by s cube plus s squared plus 10s plus 20, the whole square. Again, if you want to differentiate that d squared by ds into f of s, then it is d by ds into this term, entire term. This entire term will come here. You have to again differentiate that. Again, it is looking like a UV formula, then you can use that, and you can see that the same way they are using it. And finally, we have some constant terms in the numerator. If you apply S is equal to 0 for that, I am getting 20 square plus 40 divided by 20 power 4, you get 1 by 10. So I got C naught is equal to 0, C1 is equal to 0, and C2 is equal to 1 by 10. I also find what is R of t, R dot of t, and R double dot of t. So I have substituted all these values in my formula, and finally I got the value to be 1 by 6. So E of t is equal to 1 by 6t. So substitute that in your steady state value. What is that? Limit t tends to infinity, 1 by 60 will give me 1 by 60 because no t terms are there. So I cannot apply an infinite for that. So it's a constant value. So 1 by 60 is my final steady state value. Final steady state value. This is one method. One method in the sense what I have done, I have found what is R of t, R dot of t, R double dot of t. Then found what is C naught, what is C1, what is C2 and all. Then I have substituted all these things, then found it. Another method is there. You can use your E of S method. What is this? E of S is equal to R of S divided by 1 plus G of S H of S. Okay, so now you are supposed, you are given with R of S, so you can substitute that. Then you combine it, you get a transfer function like this. You are getting a final transfer function like this. This is equal to E of S. Then you know the steady state value can be obtained using the final value theorem formula S into E of S. You have an E of S here. Now you substitute S here. So SS gets cancelled. Here also S squared is cancelled. So finally it takes you to E of S is taken to ESS is taken to 1 by 60. If you apply all these, okay, you probably will get what? Your numerator term will become, this is going to be 0, this is going to be 0 if you substitute S actually, okay, and this is going to be 0, this is going to be 0, this will probably S squared gets cancelled, okay, this S gets cancelled, so probably I will get 1 by 20, okay, 1 by 20, and you have a 3 there, so probably I will get it like 1 by 60 here. You can see the denominator, all this is going to be 0, this coefficient becomes 0, this particular part becomes 0. Here you are having S plus 1 divided by 3s squared, 3s cube plus 3s squared plus 30s plus 2, 2 into 30, so you will get 60. So if you, even if you substitute S is equal to 0, you will get 1 by 60. So this is another method. Apart from this method, we can also use a shortcut actually to calculate this. What I will do here is, I will take that R of S. What is R of S? 3 by S minus 2 by S squared plus 1 by 3 S cube. And already I have obtained what is Kp is equal to what? Kp is equal to, maybe I have to verify that. Kp is equal to what I got? Okay, infinite, infinite and 20. Okay, fine. So Kp is equal to infinity, Kv is equal to infinity, and Ka is equal to 1 by Ka is equal to 20. Okay, I split this as what? This is a step signal, this is a ramp, and this is parabolic. 1 by S is there, 1 by S squared is there, and 1 by S cube is there. So for this, my Kp is going to be infinity, for Kv is going to be infinity, and Ka is equal to 20. So what is my steady state value? Steady state value is equal to, okay, let me make it clear. The steady state value, this is again a very shortcut method where you can get the same results. is equal to steady state value is equal to, for this particular input, step input, this 3 into 1 by 1 plus Kp, because 1 by 1 plus Kp is for 1 by S. Again minus 2 will be there, 1 by Kv. Again plus 1 by 3 will be there, 1 by Ka. You know Kp is equal to infinity, so 1 by infinity minus 2 by infinity plus 1 by 3 into 1 by 20. Anything by infinity is 0, minus 0 plus 1 by 60, which gives me 1 by 60. So steady state error can be calculated by this method also. Unless otherwise specified, you can use this method also. So ESS is equal to 1 by 60 is obtained. Any doubts here up to this point? Any of this method, if you have a doubt, you can ask me. For this problem. For this problem, if you have any doubt, please ask me. Okay, no doubt. Fine. So I will meet you again in the next class, probably with the tutorials for steady state error alone. Okay, I will try to work on to 1 or 2 problems. Okay, for steady state error alone, maybe static error coefficients and constants and dynamic error coefficients also. 2 to 3 problems we will work on that as a tutorial. Maybe in the next class we will be dealing with the tutorial. Tomorrow is Friday, and Friday in the afternoon 5th hour you have a class. So please join the class by afternoon 5th hour tomorrow, which will be a tutorial, and the tutorial sheet will be posted in your Google Classrooms with the key. Okay, so thank you very much. We will meet by tomorrow.